My amigos, welcome one, welcome all. Can I get an amen? Now, how about a hallelujah? Yeah. Are you ready to rock? All right, it's time for liftoff. Let's go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You know the rest.
Ignition.
Let's go, mofos.
Liftoff.
Hey, it's not offensive when you say it like that. He's my mofo. You guys are my mofos. My motherfuckers. It means mis colegas in that case.
Get ready.
Always learning.
Strap on your seatbelt.
From the get-go.
Desde
el primer momento.
Ready for the ride of your life.
Come on.
The show with no name time.
Get on board.
On radio. It's a show with no name.
Let's go. Welcome aboard Show with No Namers, wherever you're tuning in from. Thank you. Thank you for being the best students a teacher could ever ask for. Welcome. We got a lot of stuff to do here on the show today. We're going to learn tons of totally native idiomatic expressions. I know you love them because I love them too. Well, in Spanish, I want to sound like you. I don't want to sound like a book, like some grammar book from grade school, from grammar school. De primaria? No. I want to sound like you guys when you're talking to your friends, when you're talking to your family, that natural, totally native English, as we call it. And that's what you'll get here on Vaughn Radio all throughout the day. You've got every accent under the sun for free at your fingertips, in your pocket. It's the Vaughn Radio app, so download it. And this way you can learn English wherever, whenever. In the words of the great Shakira. Sounds like a faraón, right? The great Shakira was buried here many, many years ago, in this tomb.
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
That's right. Pop quiz time. Let's go. Come on. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Come on. Yeah. Get psyched. Motivaos. Get pumped. Let's go. Mentalízate. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. pop quiz. That's right, folks. Our pop quiz. And as I said earlier, we are going to take a look at some totally native idiomatic expressions. And that's because we're going to take a look at something from Expresiones en Inglés. It's available at the Von Tienda, vontienda.com. Or again, there's nothing like that face-to-face contact. So come on in person if you live in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza. If you live in one of those cities, we've got an office in your city, and we'd love to meet you. If not, for the rest of you, don't worry, we've got an online presence. I think the best way to know about what's going on in the Vaughn world as far as new initiatives, special deals, obviously events as well, because as you know, we have a monthly Vaughn Radio Trivia Night, which if you haven't done so, it's next week. If you're listening to this live, it's May 6th, 2025. It's going to be hosted by Kyle Miller, the host of Drive Time, the author of Business English, and a great friend of mine from Canada. So be there or be square. Toma, totally native. O eres un muerto. El que no está se lo pierde, no? Es el... I know you have a way to say that. Maybe you guys can help me out with that. But in English, it's be there or be square. And somebody who is square is boring. O eres el que aburre a todos. So it is the 6th of May. It's 8 p.m. It's at the Toast Tap Room in Malasaña in the center of Madrid. We're all going to be there, so we hope to see you there as well. And while you're marking your calendars, mark them also for June 3rd. June 3rd, I'll be hosting. And again, that's at 8 p.m. and it's at the Toast Tap Room. So join us for one of them, both of them if you can. We'd love to see you. Also, a quick reminder as well, if you haven't participated in the question of the week and you would like to practice your speaking every week, well, this week's question of the week is, tell us how your parents met. Be a narrator. You know, make it sound nice, even if it wasn't. They met in jail. Oh my God. I don't know how you make that. Well, he looked in her eyes, the gaze that said to her, through thick and thin. Toma, otra expresión. Vamos a aprender muchísimas hoy. I hope you got your notebook. Duras y maduras, ¿no? Through thick and thin. Well, tell us how your parents met. Keep it at around a minute. You can record it in your phone. Be mindful of your recording. You know, I think almost any phone these days can record it semi-decent audio. So make sure, you're using your phone correctly. You're not holding it too close, because look at this. Now, this is me on top of my microphone. It's too much. Now, this is me at a couple inches away, unas pulgadas. See how, and you know what? If I need to make this louder, I can do that later. What I can't do is once I've made it too loud, bring it back down. So once it goes into the red, anybody who's ever edited audio, I'm sure many of you have seen these waveforms that are used when you're editing audio, and you can see it goes right into the red. So be mindful of that, obviously. And I'd love to hear from you. And I think I speak on behalf of all of us. We'd love to hear from you in question of the week. So how did your parents meet? All right. And amigos, we're going to listen to a little excerpt in today's pop quiz from Expresiones en Inglés. And as you know, I will have some challenges for you afterwards. So everybody listen up.
To be down on your luck.
Pasar una mala racha. Tener mala suerte. Adrián ha tenido mala suerte estas últimas semanas.
Adrian's been down on his luck these last few weeks.
Eso ha sido un golpe de suerte. Bien por ella. Últimamente ha pasado una muy mala racha.
That was a stroke of luck. Good for her. She's been really down on her luck lately. To be a breeze.
Ser muy fácil. No me estresaría demasiado al respecto. Será muy fácil.
I wouldn't stress too much about it. It'll be a breeze.
Una vez que nos quitemos estos informes de encima, las próximas semanas serán muy fáciles.
Once we get these reports out of the way, the next few weeks will be a breeze. To be out of your mind.
Estar loco. Debes estar loco si piensas que ella va a decir que sí.
You must be out of your mind if you think that she's going to say yes.
Están locos si piensan que aceptaremos esas condiciones.
They're out of their mind if they think we'll accept those conditions. To be set in your ways.
Ser inflexible. Ser de ideas fijas. Juan es muy inflexible, así que no creo que cambie de opinión sobre eso.
Juan is very set in his ways, so I don't think he'll change his mind on that.
El programa no está grabado en piedra aún, pero ella es de ideas fijas, así que probablemente sea igual al del año pasado.
The schedule isn't final yet, but she's very set in her ways, so it'll probably be the same as last year. To be at odds with someone. To be at odds over something.
No estar de acuerdo con alguien. No estar de acuerdo sobre algo. Mi primo y yo nunca estamos de acuerdo.
My cousin and I always seem to be at odds with each other.
Se notaba que no estaban de acuerdo sobre la mejor manera de cómo hacer frente a la situación.
I could tell they were at odds over the best way to deal with the situation.
¿Conoces Weekend Town? La nueva iniciativa de Vaughan.
Pues no.
Es un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. Y es nuevísimo.
A ver, cuéntame más.
Tendrás una inmersión lingüística total durante 2 días. Un total de 24 horas hablando con angloparlantes de todo el mundo.
¡Wow! ¡Qué interesante!
Ganarás confianza y soltura a la hora de comunicarte en inglés. Mejorarás tu comprensión auditiva y tus habilidades conversacionales en una situación de comunicación real en inglés. Ven a Weekend Town y te sorprenderás con todo lo que puede avanzar tu inglés en un fin de semana. Weekend Town de Vaughan. Un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés.
That's right, folks. Weekend Town. It is a way to get away. Hey, a great excuse. Una excusa entre paréntesis to get away for a weekend and immerse yourself in English, make some new friends, and really have an experience, a unique or one-of-a-kind, as we say, experience. It's called Weekend Town. It is a shorter version of our star program, Vaughan Town. And don't forget, we've got something for everyone at the Vaughan Tienda. I've got 5 books of my own. You've got a Vaughan Disney collection, which is, I mean, for the Disney lover, the kid lover in you, the kid lover, I mean, el que ama niños, que tiene niños en su entorno. I mean, there's nothing better. I know it because I've looked at all the books. I have the whole collection courtesy of Vaughan, and because I worked on it. So I asked, I said, can I get, the collection? And, hey, I said, maybe I'm being a little bit cheeky here, but hey, it can't hurt to ask. Y it can't hurt significa no pierdes nada. It can't hurt to. That's a good structure to know if you haven't used it. It can't hurt, right, to do this. And the expression better safe than sorry, which we looked at yesterday when we were talking about the blackout, the power outage, the power failure. Hey, that's the thing too, guys. How do we learn about different words? Well, when they happen. You know how I learned the word aranceles? Well, it wasn't recently with Trump. It was sooner. Pero cuando hablaban de ellos en las noticias, sabes, even, I'm not even talking about the news. You open up Twitter and it says aranceles. I'm like, aranceles. And then I read it and I'm like, okay, so obviously it's tariffs. So you learn by paying attention, by keeping your eyes peeled, as we say. And to keep your eyes peeled is a totally native way of saying to keep your eyes wide open. So if you want to know all these totally native idiomatic expressions, and I know you guys know plenty, but if you want to make sure you've got them all down pat, you can pick up Expresiones en Inglés que deberías conocer. I've just shared the link with you here in the chat room, and it's written by none other than la mismísima, ladies and gentlemen, Jimena Holiday, our great friend and host of Test Your English. And speaking of the Disney collection, who do you think she did? She worked heavily on that. So this is called Expresiones en Inglés que deberías conocer. How many expressions does it have? Good question. I thought you would never ask. It contains, there are, dilo como quieras, 1,000 expressions in this truly useful material. And of course, it comes with audio. We just heard a little excerpt of that audio, but are you ready for this? A whopping 6 hours of audio, 1,000 expressions, 6 hours of audio, and it's under 10 euros. It's $9.95. I'm not here to peddle es otra forma de decir vender, to peddle books, vender libros, because if not, I would sell my own. But this is worth its weight in gold. Vale su peso en oro. It's expresiones en inglés que deberías conocer. And we're going to take a look at in a little bit, we're going to take a look at a bunch of expressions. But first, I'm going to put you to the test and see if you know the ones I've chosen. I randomly chose 3 expressions that I think any totally native speaker should know. Now, do I think a beginner level should know these? No, I don't. I don't expect them to. But somebody at your level, and I'm saying that to the listeners because I know we've got the average level on this show of the listener is pretty high. So let's see. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you 4 today because we have a bonus. And today it's a fill in the blank. But I still want you to use it in context if you know it. If you're familiar with it and you know how to use it in context, do it. If not, as you know, I will afterwards. All right? So the first thing we're missing here is to cry over milk. Okay? Es una expresión totally native. Okay, and I won't tell you the meaning yet because I want to see if you know it. That's why I want you to use it in context. Are you familiar with it? The first one is to cry over blank milk. So primero tienes que rellenar ese hueco con la palabra, porque solo hay una. Esto es una frase hecha, no hay negociaciones aquí. Okay, es como decir, hablando del rey de Pamplona. No, it's Roma, right? So again, there's just one word that can go in there. Okay. So to cry over blank milk, I'll give you a clue. It's an adjective. Es un adjetivo que va ahí. Are you familiar with it? Do you know what it means? Show me. Number 2, the next one is the whole blank yards. The whole blank yards. Falta algo ahí en ese huequito. Does it ring a bell? Do you know what it means? The third one, blank as a bug in a rug. Hey, that rhymes. So the third one is blank as a bug in a rug, en una moqueta, una alfombra. And the fourth one, here's where you get carte blanche. Use your favorite idiomatic expression. So the first 3, you're kind of limited there. But that fourth one, I want you to express yourself and give us your favorite idiomatic expression. Do you have a favorite one? The ball's in your court, por ejemplo. Right? La pelota está en tu tejado. I'm game. Me apunto. I'm game. I don't know. I'm just giving you some things that are totally native that you will hear that are not literal. That's what makes them idiomatic expressions. And as I said, you can get these for under 10 euros at the Von Tienda, written by our amiga Jimena Holiday, who you can listen to every day right after this show on Test Your English. All right, There you go, my amigos. You've got quite a challenge today in your pop quiz. One more time. The first one, to cry over blank milk. Use it in context if you know it. The second one, the whole blank yards. Yardas. And the third one is blank as a bug in a rug. The fourth one, give us your favorite one, right? Give us the one that maybe you learned recently or one that you think sounds funny. I don't know. You know, I like in Spanish, por si las moscas. Just sounds funny, right? I like manda huevos because it just doesn't make sense to me. Manda, like commands eggs. Or I think you mean huevos pelota. Yes, you know, just ones that you're like, I like the sound of that. Or I use it often. Hey, be creative. Number 4 is for you to be totally creative because, as you know, language, yes, there is a mathematical, formulaic part to learning a language, but you can't take the creativity out of it. I mean, we're speaking, right? We're communicating. There has to be creativity in it. All right, let's see. Speaking of creativity, I've got a lot of students checking in here in our virtual classroom. Let's see who's with us today. We've got Open Waters. Open Waters says, good morning, mates. Good morning to you, Open Waters. I hope you're doing well, and I imagine you are ready to rock. And you know what? That's for you yesterday. I know I gave you but man, yesterday, I mean, you always do a great job, but yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, you did a perfect job. So don't think I'm not paying attention. Okay. I'm always paying attention. It's my job as your teacher. All right. So there's Elena. Hello, Elena. Good morning. And welcome aboard. Good morning, folks. She says, have you recharged your batteries in case we get another blackout? I thought you meant recargar, refrescar, but I get it. I love it. She says, just kidding. God forbid. Good morning, Elena. I love a little humor to get things going. All right, let's see. I hope nobody got blackout drunk. Remember? I told you we're going to look at that in a future Double Trouble. He got blackout drunk, o sea, bebió hasta perder la conciencia during the blackout, durante el apagón. So write that one down. It's coming. All right. And God forbid. You know what, Elena? I love that God forbid. Lo usamos muchísimo en inglés. God forbid, ¿no? Cuando decimos algo que no queremos que pase. God forbid. ¿Realmente no está aquí o qué? ¿Cómo que no está? Que Dios no lo permita. Que Dios no lo quiera. I hope, the translation, I really hope that doesn't happen. God forbid. También se puede decir heaven forbid. Excellent. Got yourself a totally native there, Elena. All right. Open Water says, just to let you know, I peddle, te doy la otra palabra, I sell power banks. Hey, good to know, Open Waters. You should give us a special deal. Well, we'll spread the word together, and you sell more. You get it. Hey, we're always doing business here. Ojo, no es making business, it's doing business. Eso es un error que he oído muchísimas veces. La gente dice, we make business. No. You see, if you're guilty, you're one of the people who says make business, write it down wrong. This is my theory, my formula for dealing with common mistakes. Write it down wrong, then cross it out, really, with a red marker if you've got one, and then write it correctly under it. And I urge all of you to do that with people is. Pon people is. Tattoo. Get it tattooed on your forearm, en tu antebrazo. People is. And then with a red tattoo ink, get it crossed out, and then put people are below it, and underline it 7 times. Subrayalo 7 veces. And maybe then you'll never make that mistake again. It is probably the number one mistake Spanish speakers make. when speaking English. There's Chris Valrol. She says, morning, wonderful show with no-namers. Hello, Chris, bringing a little bit of magic. And there's Laura, too, who we're going to hear from today. Speaking of more idiomatic expressions in our Italian section, she says, good morning, lovely show with no-namers and blackout survivors. Oh, yeah. All right, well, folks, I'll tell you what. We have got to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with much more Show with No Name, so stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of today's show with No Name here on Vaughn Radio. Yeah. We love to learn, we love to laugh, we love to make friends and celebrate life. I like to think we're doing a little more than just learning English here every morning on the show with No Name. And thanks to all of you for your effort, your drive, tu motivación. It really is inspirational. You guys make me want to work harder on my Spanish. Seriously. So keep it up. You have set the bar really high. Habéis subido el listón. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful, I think, as a teacher, to see students with that fire in their eyes, como decimos, esa pasión. There's nothing like it. I think it's the most rewarding part of being a teacher. It's definitely not the salary. But seriously, seeing the student on fire, and you guys are on fire day in, day out here on the show with No Name and on all the other shows. I talk to Rob and Andy. They tell me that you guys participate in the lunchtime show, and I think that is awesome. All right, amigos, let's kick off the second part of the show with the Say What soundbite. Yes. Say what? What? All right, you ready to listen to a totally native English speaker? Oh, yeah. Doesn't get more native than this. Cerrado, you would say in Spanish. El acento. I don't want to give you too much information, but I am curious today, as every day, if you can pinpoint where the person's from. Can you figure it out based on the person's accent? Yesterday we did Jerry Seinfeld. Definitely more of a New York sound behind his voice. Well, he's from there. Even though the show was filmed in Los Angeles. Did you know that? Friends, too. Friends, there was nothing about New York. Just some exterior shots. Even the fountain was at a studio in California, not in Central Park. Did you know that? Fake. It's all fake. All right, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I want you to listen carefully here and see what you can detect. You'll hear this a total of 4 times And at first, I just want you to tell me your thoughts. Here it is, your Say What soundbite for the first time.
When you kept me around, when other people would have said, drop that bum. You give me respect. You know, it's hard for me to say these kind of things because that ain't my way. But if I could just unzip myself and step out and be someone else, I want to be you.
All right, there you go. Wow, I told you, it's not like, hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome to your English class. No. Not that easy today. All right, let's hear it a second time. But I know you guys are going to be able to extract some juicy information from the Say What soundbite. And I don't doubt that a couple of you will be able to get it all. All right, here it is for the second time.
When you kept me around, and other people would have said, drop that bum. You give me respect. You know, it's hard for me to say these kind of things because that ain't my way. But if I could just unzip myself and step out and be someone else, I want to be you.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mhm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así de gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
vaughantienda.com.
It's the Shit.
That's right. My latest book, This Book is the Shit, available at Von Tienda with all the other amazing materials we have produced in over 40 years as a company. Okay, I know the radio hasn't been around that long, but the company has been around since day one. Okay, not day one. But I wanted to teach you the expression, it's as old as the hills, tan viejo como las colinas. Now that we're looking at some totally native idiomatic expressions here on the show. All right, well, let's go on over to our chat room. We've got a lot of participation. Laura says, be there or be square. I would say, si no vas, tú te lo pierdes. I like it. I like it, Laura. Great one. Born to Iron Man says, morning, folks. Morning to you, sir. Hope all is well, and I hope you are ready. No, I know you are ready to rock today. There's Elena, speaking of rocking, and she's taking a stab at today's pop quiz. She says, don't cry over the spilled milk. It's over. All right, one little thing there. I'm going to give you an applause, but you got to take out the word the. Ok, pero por eso quiero que no solo pongamos la expresión, pero lo pongamos así en su contexto. So don't cry over spilled milk. Sin el the, it's over. Se acabó. O sea, ya no vale llorar por eso. Let's see how they translate it, right? But it was perfect because you could, just from seeing it in Elena's context, it makes it, it's over. Se acabó. So cry over spilled milk. A lo hecho pecho, lo pasado pisado, right? There's no point in regretting it now. No vale arrepentirse ahora. So don't cry. También muchas veces se dice, it's no use crying. It's no use, si quieres ponerlo en su ámbito más natural, it's no use crying over spilt milk now. No, ya se ha pasado. Now be careful. The Americans use this verb spill, derramar, tirar, as an ED, as a regular verb. Whereas my British counterparts use it as spilt in irregular verbs. So nosotros ed, ellos con T y eliminando una L en la segunda y tercera columna. So it's no use crying over spilt milk. It means it already happened and there's nothing we can do about it now. In fact, the other day, my daughter was pouring milk and some of it spilled, I swear to God, on the counter, en la encimera. And she goes, oh no, Daddy. I go, honey, no use crying over spilt milk. And it was funny because I literally meant it. Like, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Ya se ha tirado, hay una gota de leche en la encimera, la limpiamos, como ya está, se acabó. And I was like, wow, I almost had like an epiphany there. I said, wow, I mean it literally. And like, mira, la vida pasa cosas, pues. You know, it's already done. It's time to move on. No use crying over spilled milk. Great job, Elena. The next one, she went the whole 9 yards to satisfy his expectations. Great, Elena. The whole 9 yards. This is also a movie. Es una película. I think Bruce Willis is in it. Seguro que en español, porque es una frase hecha que significa todo posible, el paquete completo. Okay? When you went to Disney, did you get the meal plan and the fast pass? Yeah. We got the whole 9 yards. No es verdad porque es carísimo, pero estoy usando un ejemplo. When we went to Disney, we did not get the whole 9 yards. Todo el paquete, todo lo que incluye, right? So the whole 9 yards, todo todito would be maybe a nice translation. So she went the whole 9 yards. She did everything possible, right? She pulled out all the stops to satisfy his expectations. Excellent. And the next one, I'm snug as a bug in a rug here on my couch on a Saturday night. Saturday night. Yeah, we say es comodísimo, no cómodo, comodísimo, mejor imposible, right? It's as good as it gets. You're snug as my cat this morning was as snug as a bug in a rug, all right? And it reminds me of the word snug. Snug es apretado. Oh, that's a little bit snug, no cabe muy bien. But also, it reminds me of the word snuggle, darse mimos, no? Darse, right, to snuggle. When you're, it's a good way to remember it. When I'm snuggling with my family, we're as snug as a bug in a rug. Excellent job. And her favorite one, the carte blanche one, she says, I always bend over backwards for you. Elena, you knocked it out of the park. Toma expresión. Lo petaste. Un home run. You knocked it out of the park. To bend over backwards. Creo que decís lo mismo. Hacer el pino puente, right? Hacer todo. Hacer un super esfuerzo. Excellent job, Elena. Wow. We are off to a great start here. Chris Valrol says, don't cry over spilled milk. Very good. Then the next one, I'm snug as a bug in a rug. Excellent. And she says, I want the whole 9 yards. Quiero todo todito. And she says, my fave? Let me think. All right. Great job. You got the 3. Open Waters. Open Water says, due to the blackout, the meat I had in my freezer went bad. There's not point, cuidado, there's no point. O sea, pero por eso justo quiero que lo uséis. O sea, there's no point. La T nos sobra. There's no point in crying over spilled milk. Great. The next one, when I turned 50, I really went the whole 9 yards with my birthday celebration. Excellent. And the next one, the blackout didn't affected. Cuidado porque ahí no es affected, porque el didn't es el pasado. Entonces, lo correcto sería, the blackout didn't affect me too much. Too much con 2 O's, el too, demasiado. I catch a book and I was snug as a bug in a rug. I grabbed a book. Okay, so la última te lo... Excellent job in general. Te hago unos ajustes. Okay, so there's no point in vez de there's not point. The blackout didn't affect me too much con 2 O's. And I grabbed or I picked up, because catch es coger al aire, right? So I grabbed a book and I was as snug as a bug in a rug. Excellent job to Chris, Elena, also Open Waters. Let's see. Laura's got something to say as well. She says to cry over spilt milk. Very good. She says there's no use in crying over spilt milk. Let bygones be bygones. Nice one. El pasado en el pasado. It's another way of saying it. Let bygones be bygones. The next one, she says the whole 9 yards. Show with no-namers always go the whole 9 yards to strive. Absolutely. Great example. And she says, snug as a bug in a rug. I love being snug as a bug in a rug. Excellent job. And she says, birds of a feather flock together. Dios los cría y ellos se juntan. That's why we all get along here. Laura, I couldn't think of better examples. Excellent contributions. Excellent. Open Water says, my favorite, a chip off the old block. That's right. Well, think about it. De tal palo, tal astilla. Pues vosotros lo usáis hablando de madera. Para nosotros piensan un trozo de mármol. ¿Ok? O algo, roca, piedra, para hacer una estatua. Right? A chip es un trozo de ese bloque. Right? So same idea. You're taking a piece off the big one. You say de tal palo, tal astilla. We say a chip off the old block, and it means you're very similar to your family. Excellent. Your relatives. You guys really know some totally native expressions, huh? Born to Iron Man says, don't cry over spilled milk. You fell off your bike, but you went the whole 9 yards. And now you're as snug as a bug in a rug. Soon you'll be able to train hard again. The sky is the limit. Excellent. Perfect. The sky's the limit. El límite lo pones tú. No hay límite. The sky's the limit. Excellent job. Wow, folks. I am impressed. I'm impressed every day, but I don't know what you guys had for breakfast today, but wow, you are all giving it your all. You're going the whole 9 yards. You're going the extra mile, right? Esta la hemos visto también, right? You're giving 110%. All right, German, there's German, who's always playing with words. He says, morning, unspilled Milky Way inhabitants. I love it. Unspilled, que no se ha tirado, and the Milky Way, la Vía Láctea. Take me to your leader. There's Jose Castro. Hey, Jose, what's up? Thanks for joining us. Great friend of the family, Jose. What is going on? Great to have you on board. Awesome. There's Chris. Chris says, I don't have a favorite expression, but I find really funny, go fly a kite. And go fly a kite is vete a tomar viento. Let's go fly a kite up to the highest heights. Mary Poppins. She likes to pop in. Mira, me di cuenta de eso este año. Mary Poppins, what did she do? She popped into their lives. It's insane. It blew my mind when I heard it. Do you mind? I'm just popping in. Yeah, you popped in and you changed everybody's life, Mary. And she says, pushing up daisies, which is another way of saying you're dead. Estás empujando las margaritas para que, o sea, tendrías que estar debajo de ellas, ¿no? Okay. I love them. Great ones, Chris. Very good ones. Let's see. Elena says, talking about today's Say What soundbite, she says, an American man who sounds to be, or it sounds like he's in a pickle, trying to blow off steam as he asks for some respect. Wow, there's another idiomatic expression. To blow off some steam means to vent, right? To vent, tengo que explicar también. So let's see, blow off steam. Descargar energía, soltarse, right? Desahogarse. Excellent. Yes, it is. It is an American man who sounds to be, or sounds like he's in a pickle, trying to blow off steam as he asks for some respect. All right. I love it. Laura says, I heard what could be an excerpt from a movie, absolutely, in which a man who's not used to expressing his feelings, wow, good, you are intuitive. Yeah, it's not easy for him. Wow, I'm impressed, Laura. So he's not used to expressing his feelings. He's telling someone else that he admires him. If he could be another person, he would like to be him. Laura, spot on. Hablando de expresiones nativos. You hit the nail on the head. You nailed it. Spot on. Clavado. Los tres significan clavado. Excellent job. Wow. So yeah, it's somebody who I guess, isn't very sensitive. Remember, we looked at that yesterday, the false friend. Sensitive and sensible. Sensible, you use common sense. You think. Sensitive means you act on emotions. And it seems like this guy doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve normally. It's another idiomatic expression that comes to mind. Piénsalo, if you wear your heart on your sleeve, llevas tu corazón en tu manga, no escondes tus emociones. Estás abierto con tus emociones, con la gente, contigo mismo. You're not somebody who, is afraid to show emotion. So this guy doesn't, I think a totally native way of saying it as well, is he doesn't normally wear his heart on his sleeve. No se sincera, no expresa sus emociones. All right? Let's see what Chris had to say. Chris says, I heard an American man. All right, well, I've got to say something here with the American thing. You're all right. But does anybody know what area of the United States? I mean, it is the detail I was looking for, but you're all right. Todos tenéis razón con eso de he's from the United States. Let's see. She says, maybe he's from the South. No. But thank you for guessing. He's not from the South of the United States. He's not a Southern guy. All right, well, we'll listen to it another 2 times, as you know, and obviously what we'll do is, I know someone's going to get it. I'm not going to say any names, but I know at least, I'm going to bet 2 of you are going to get it today. Also, Chris says, he's wearing his heart on his sleeve. Wait a second. Chris, And folks at home, I did not say that and then Chris put that comment. Okay. I didn't see Chris's comment, so I was inspired by Laura's comment to teach you to wear your heart on your sleeve. And Chris, as I was saying it, so she said it, she didn't get it from me. I've got to give you credit there, Chris. You used the expression on your own, but it's funny because that means we were both thinking the same thing again. Oh my goodness. So yeah, he's wearing his heart on his sleeve. Vaya, totally native. And he tells someone he would like to be him. Folks, what can I say? I am completely flabbergasted, atónito, with how well you guys are doing today. We're going to head to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we've got homophones. Also, we're going to take a look at today's spelling bee. We've got our Italian section as well. We've got our Say What soundbite for the third and fourth time. Famous birthdays. Name that lyric. Name that movie. Double trouble. In fact, it's not a double trouble. It's a triple trouble. But hey, this week we've had some very challenging ones. But don't shoot the messenger. Courtesy of Laura, Chris Balrol, and today, Paco. So we've got tons of challenges up ahead. So say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Stick around. Hey amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 3. Are you serious? Jeez. It is part 3 of today's show with no name. We've got a lot of stuff to look at on today's show. As I said, we're going to kick off with our homophones. Then we'll listen to our Say What soundbite for the third time. After that, we've got our spelling bee. And we're going to New York today, folks. We're going to have some fun in New York City in today's spelling bee. We'll also learn some Italian with Laura, and we'll learn some interesting tips. Also, we'll learn an idiomatic expression in Italian and its English counterparts. All that and music and movies and challenges up ahead. And don't forget, you've got awesome shows all day long, starting with The Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams, Fits and No Excuses, Test Your English with Jimena Holiday, The Lunchtime Show with Rob and Andy, Let's Get Random with Jules Linares, The Salad with Dave Boys, Kyle Miller's Drive Time, Frankly Speaking with Chris Frank, the one and only, the master himself, Richard Vaughn, in Richard Vaughn Live. And I know I am definitely leaving somebody out. All right. Yes.
Guess
Yes.
who's back?
Yes, yes.
Back again.
Yes, yes.
Yes, he's back.
Tell a friend.
Yes, he's back. 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 That's
That's right, the hour to empower with Jessica Fernandez is back on Vaughn Radio.
All you have to do is download the free Vaughn Radio app, and you can learn English anytime, any place, on the go. Por ahí. All right, it's time for Homophones on the Show with No Name. Sing it.
Homophones, homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, my amigos. As always, we're going to take a look at words that tend to be a little bit tricky to pronounce. And A, I want to know if you know the words. And secondly, I want to know if you know if they sound exactly the same. The first word is a rope used for strangling, okay? A rope used, has oído bien, una cuerda para estrangular, okay? Nudo corredizo, it says here, or lazo. Also, we know it because of the Wild West, and, well, it used to be a way that they carried out capital punishment, and that's horca. Okay? So it's ese nudo, pero también it's a euphemism for you're going to die. You're going to be killed. Okay, so nudo corredizo, lazo, o lo que viene siendo horca. Okay, and the second one is noticia, or las noticias, right? So, en plural, la noticia, right? El informativo. That's the one I'm looking for, con ese. O sea, la palabra nuevo con ese. Okay? So there it is, noticia, okay? Porque eso siempre tiene que ir con ese, right? No decimos, I heard the new. Entonces, es esa palabra, okay? Con ese. So the first word, orca, is that it? Orca? Did I just make that up? Orca. Bueno, es que me sonaba orca la ballena. So, orca, nudo corredizo, and the second word is noticia. All right? That's your not double trouble. That's your homophones. Also, I'm going to give you your say what soundbite. Here it is for the third time, amigos.
When you kept me around, and other people would have said, drop that bum. You give me respect. You know, it's hard for me to say these kind of things because that ain't my way. But if I could just unzip myself and step out and be someone else, I want to be you.
¿Qué tiene que ver la Universidad de Oxford con Vaughan? Pues muchísimo. Es una alegría anunciar que Vaughan ha sido certificado como centro examinador de Oxford Test of English. A partir del próximo mes de marzo 2023, podrás hacer los exámenes de Oxford Test of English en los centros de Vaughan. Si quieres más información sobre esta iniciativa de Vaughan y Oxford, puedes ver más en nuestra página web, grupovaughan.com. O bien síguenos en redes sociales para más información. Oxford Test of English con Vaughan.
Brilliant!
That's right. It's the Oxford Test of English. You can get done at any of our centers. All right, let's see what we've got. I've got a lot of people participating in our homophones challenge today. Let's see. Open Waters gives us the two words correctly and says, I think they are not homophones. All right. Elena gives us the two words and she says they aren't homophones. She seems a little bit more sure of herself. All right, well, let's see. Let's see what the other students have to say. Born to Iron Man, he says they don't sound alike. Chris Valrol says they aren't homophones, and Laura agrees that they don't sound alike. So you are either all wrong or all right. All right, here we go. There's just one way to figure it out. Let's say the words. The first word is noose. Noose, right? He had a noose around his neck. He died by the noose. Did you hear the news? He died by the noose. Did you hear the news? He died by the noose. News, noose. News, noticia. Noose, orca. They do not sound the same. Great job. So let's look at them. So noose, orca, is a quick vowel sound. No es, no se extiendes. Noose, right? Es como le das un toquecillo. If it was a drum, you just go clack, right? Noose. And es puro y duro al final una S. Noose. You want to go to the noose? Noose. And the other one, news. Ahora, se extiende más el sonido vocal, and it ends with a Z sound, news. Now, I have heard people say, have you heard the news? News, right? So, news. It's a weird one. In my country, most people say, have you heard the news about the noose? So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And the game, el juego de adivinar las letras de la palabra, that's called hangman, right? Even though you draw the noose, right? Dibujas the stick figure. Esto, ¿no? Cuando dibujas una persona súper básico, that's called a stick figure. And, well, if you got to guess different letters, I know you call it la horca, no, that game? We call it hangman. You want to play hangman? And it's a great game, by the way, when you're, at a diner, at a place, at a restaurant, a pizzeria or something, and you have a pen with you, or you just flip over your menu, you flip over the placemat, and you've got yourself a game of hangman. And for those of you who are higher levels in English, you can play with idiomatic expressions instead of, you can up the ante. Movie titles. It's up to you. The idea is to make it fun. And before you know it, your food arrives at the table. I know it because it worked with me when I was a kid. Thanks, Mom. And it's also working with Lara. All right, so those words are not homophones. I couldn't fool you guys. All right, well, folks, it's time to learn a little bit of Italiano. Tutti a bordo. Impariamo a little bit of Italiano with Laura.
Ciao a tutti, sono Laura.
All right.
Mamma mia.
Hey, mamma mia, mamma mia. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'll leave you in the hands of the lovely Laura. I know she's going to teach us an awesome expression. And as you know, I want you to do the same thing I ask you to do with me. Repeat aloud. I'll be doing it myself. And as I said, afterwards, we'll take a look at the English counterpart as well. Let's learn with Laura.
Ciao a tutti, sono Laura. Come va? Spero tutto bene. Benvenuti di nuovo alla sezione Tutti on board, impariamo a little bit of italiano. Allora, qual è il detto italiano che ho scelto oggi? What's the Italian idiom I've chosen today? È questo. Chi dorme non piglia pesci. Let's look at the meaning of this
Chi dorme
idiom.
non piglia pesci.
Chi dorme non piglia pesci is an expression that means that if you're not alert and attentive, you won't be successful. If you don't pay attention or if you are indecisive and take too long to do something, you will miss out on some good opportunity. And it can also imply that someone else will do it instead of you. You shouldn't procrastinate, and you should seize opportunities quickly before they vanish. Let's analyze the sentence word by word. Analizziamo la frase parola a parola. Chi, spelled
Chi.
C-H-I
Chi.
and pronounced chi,
Chi.
means
Who.
who. He or she who.
Chi.
Dorme,
Chi dorme.
spelled D-O-R-M-E, dorme,
Chi dorme.
is the third person singular of the present tense of the verb dormire, which means
dorme.
to sleep. Non piglia, which are two different words.
No piglia.
Non on the one side, spelled N-O-N, non, and piglia on the other, spelled P-I-G-L-I-A and pronounced piglia,
Piglia.
is the negative form in the third person singular of the present tense of the verb pigliare,
Pigliare.
which means to grab, to take, to get, and in this context, it can also be translated into to catch. We had already looked at the verb pigliare with the idiom chi si assomiglia si piglia. Do you remember?
Yeah, right. Mhm.
Birds of a feather flock
Flock
together.
together.
So we know that the letters G-L-I sound Y in Italian.
Yeah.
And pesci,
Pesci.
spelled P-E-S-C-I, is the plural of the word pesce, which means fish. Un pesce,
Joe Pesci.
due pesci.
Quello mi
In
fijé.
English, the plural
Parole.
of fish is fish. It doesn't change.
Yes, not
But in
fishes.
Italian, it does.
Correcto. Good.
So Joe Pesci for us
Joe
would
Pesci.
be Joe Fish.
Joey Fish.
And we had already looked at the sound sh with
Sh.
the idiom al bisogno si conosce l'amico. Do you
Yeah.
remember?
Al bisogno si
Friend in
conosce
need
l'amico.
is a friend indeed.
Good one.
Sh.
Good review.
SC followed by an E or by an I in Italian is pronounced sh. So the literal translation into English of chi dorme non piglia pesci would be he or she who sleeps
Doesn't
won't
catch
catch
fish.
any fish.
Yeah. Makes sense.
What are the English and Spanish
You won't
counterparts
eat.
of chi dorme non piglia pesci? In English, they say you snooze, you
El
lose.
que se duerme
So
pierde.
there's no reference to
You
any kind of
snooze,
fish or
you lose.
fishing. Just sleeping or taking a nap and missing out on an opportunity.
Mhm.
And in Spanish, they say, camarón que se duerme, se lo lleva la corriente,
Mhm.
which would literally translate into the prawn who falls asleep is swept away by the current. So, like in Italian, there is a reference to fishing as un camarón is a type of fish.
Camarón de la
And they
isla.
also say, gato dormilón no pilla ratón,
I didn't know
whose
that
literal
one.
translation into English would be, a cat who sleeps won't catch any mice.
You snooze, you lose.
And that's all for today, amici. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit of Italian with me. Grazie e alla prossima puntata. Ciao!
¿Qué tal vas de ánimo? ¿Necesitas un empujón? ¿Un poco de aliento? No sweat, no te preocupes. Pásate por vaughantienda.com y hazte con nuestro nuevo material multimedia. 365 días de wellness e inglés. Y viene de la mano de tu propio personal trainer profesional, David Gómez Agudo, conocido por sus miles de seguidores en las redes como Fitbull Coach. Trabajarás fitness, mindset, nutrición y por supuesto el inglés. Y viene con más de 250 vídeos para que entrenes junto con tu coach. Es un win-win. Haz que este año sea tu año, con 365 días de wellness e inglés.
That applause is for Laura. What a wonderful job, Laura. So informative, so interesting, and so useful. And I do believe that Italian is a useful language, especially for people who live in Spain. They're our neighbors. Who doesn't want to go to Rome or Venice, or right? So, hey, and knowing these little things or pronouncing things correctly, it really does go a long way. Da para mucho. So excellent. As she pointed out, you snooze, you lose, right? I also love the one in Spanish, el que se fue a Sevilla perdió su silla, right? That's another one I've heard, which reminds me of another one in English. Move your feet, lose your seat. Te mueves, te levantas, y tú pierdes el asiento. Right? So kind of similar. O sea, no son lo que vengo a ver entre la pesca, entre el asiento. It's wait a second. We're not that different, right? We express things in a similar way. So move your feet, lose your seat, right? El que se fue a Sevilla perdió su silla. You snooze, you lose, as Laura pointed out. There's another one too that it reminds me of one. Okay, it reminds me of finders keepers, losers weepers. And this is very common when, in school, somebody loses something and, well, it's law. You lose something at the beach and you're like, man, I lost my AirPods. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. El que lo encuentra, se lo queda. Y tú te quedas llorando. So you got to be espabilado. It means keep an eye on your stuff. It's similar, right? It's related to that idea. Finders, keepers. The interesting thing is they all rhyme, right? El que se fue a Sevilla perdió su silla. We've got here, el que se fue a Aragón perdió su sillón. See, we're always talking about seats here. Excellent job, Laura. All right, it is time for today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
That's right, folks. Get ready for our Spelling Bee. This is round one. Let's capitalize the first letter of every word. And as always, I am gonna fly through round one. Good luck. We'll see how you do. Round two, I'll go at a normal pace. Let's capitalize the first letter of every word. The first one is 1939 space NY space WORLD apostrophe S space FAIR. The second one is INTERNATIONAL space EXPOSITION. The third one is WORLD space TOMORROW. The fourth one, GROVER space WHALEN. The fifth one, ROBERT space MOSES. And the last one is FLUSHING space MEADOWS dash CORONA space PARK. Whoa. All right. There you go. That's as fast as I can go. We'll see if somebody can get it. Let's see. Elena, I see that you've gotten just, I only see part of your say what soundbite. I see just the last line. I don't know if you've been censored or what's going on there. That's strange. Let's see. Elena says, my daughter's dating a Sardinian boy, so I've got to get on the ball, boy. Espabilado. Espabilada. Excellent expression. Yeah, a Sardinian boy. Nice. I love Sardinia. Let's see. Laura says, I can't help you with the Sardinian dialect, Elena. Yeah, totally different. Absolutely. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man taking a stab at round one in today's spelling bee. The first one is correct. The second one is correct. The third and fourth one are correct. And the fifth one is correct. And so is the sixth one. Guys, he's not human. Humano no es. Elena says, I did write the first part. Well, I believe you, Elena. The only thing is, the word is not unseat. Así que presta atención cuando lo escuchamos otra vez. La palabra no es unseat, ¿ok? Has puesto desasentarme, ¿no? No estar sentado, to unseat. But it's not the word we're looking for. But hey, great effort nonetheless. And I believe you wrote the first part there. So, all right, folks, Born to Iron Man is out of this world. Let's do round two. This is a round for everyone. And as I said, in today's spelling bee, we're going to New York. We're going to Queens, New York. All right, here we go. You ready? The first one is 1939. It's a year, right? Space, NY, space, WORLD, apostrophe S, space, FAIR. The second one is INTER, NATIONAL, space, EXPOSITION. The third one is WORLD, space, TOMORROW. The next one, GROVER, space, WHALEN. The fifth one is ROBERTMOSES. And the last one is FLUSHING, space, MEADOWS dash CORONA, space, PARK. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with the fourth and final part of today's show. So stick around. Hey amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the fourth and final part of today's show with no name. Don't forget to participate in your weekly speaking exercise. The question of the week. I want to find out how your parents met. I want all the juicy details, but keep it concise. Keep it at around a minute. I think it's going to be a really fun episode of the show. It always is a fun episode when we hear from you, my amigos. We are going to kick things off with our triple trouble, which comes to us from one of your fellow students, Paco. Paco participates in the question of the week almost every week. Great job, Paco. We got to keep you at a minute, though, on your own, without my help. And I know Paco, he loves to use idiomatic expressions, but also if the requirements are to keep it under a minute or around a minute, then it's not the moment to use them. So stick to the point in the question of the week. We'll have other moments to show off all those juicy idiomatic expressions that we learn every day here on Vaughn Radio with all my friends, Jimena, Rob, Andy, Kyle, Dave, Fitz, and Richard, who's not just a friend, but also a mentor. Absolutely. All right, well, folks, let's rock and roll with today's triple trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
All right, amigos, today's triple trouble coming to us from your amigo Paco. Fui a ver al médico y me recetó justo lo que necesitaba, a pesar de que intenté manipular la receta. There you go. Great one, Paco. Okay. So hay que usar la misma palabra 3 veces. Fui a ver al médico y me recetó justo lo que necesitaba, a pesar de que intenté manipular la receta. All right, that is today's triple trouble coming to us from Paco. Great one, as I said, and we'll see if anybody can figure it out. Also, let me give you today's Say What soundbite for the 4th and final time.
When you kept me around, and other people would have said, drop that bum. You give me respect. You know, it's hard for me to say these kind of things because that ain't my way. But if I could just unzip myself and step out and be someone else, I want to be you.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughn Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughn Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughn Town. That's a nice round of applause for Born to Iron Man, Chris Valrol and Laura, who did a wonderful job in today's Spelling Bee. And as I said, today we were taking a stroll over to New York, although that's kind of hard to walk on the Atlantic. Well, we're going over to Queens. Remember, New York City is made up of 5 boroughs: Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, Staten Island, and Manhattan. And this is on the Queens, in the Queens borough of New York City. It's still New York City. Again, those 5 boroughs, not barrios, boroughs, distritos, are, it would be almost like Leganés here. And, you know, these big cities that are part of Madrid City, you know? So kind of, if I had to compare it, it would be that, because they've got their own schools. I mean, it's its own entity. And the most popular one is always Manhattan. Unless you're into tennis, then you go to Queens, or maybe you're a Mets fan, the baseball team. They also play in Queens. But one of the most famous places in Queens is Flushing Meadows Corona Park. That was number 6 in our spelling bee. Translation: the park for Men in Black. El Parque de Men in Black. Yeah. You know, the one where it's got the big globe behind them? That is Flushing Meadows Corona Park. It's not only where Men in Black took place, but it's also where the New York's World Fairs took place as well. And I say World's Fairs because there was more than one. The one we're looking at today is the one that took place in 1939. And that's why number 1 in our spelling bee was the 1939 New York World's Fair. Number 2 was International Exposition. La Expo es una exposición internacional. As you know, many of you went to the Expo in Sevilla in 1992. I went. It was pretty cool. The theme, because there's usually a theme, una temática, was World of Tomorrow. Yo quité la palabra of. And did anybody recognize that from Disney? Well, where do you think Walt Disney tried and tested many of his rides and experiences and got them paid for? At the New York World's Fair. That's right, one of the New York World's Fairs. So the next one was Grover Whalen. He was the guy who organized it. Grover Whalen was his name. They called him Mr. New York because supposedly this guy lived, breathed, ate, and sleep for New York. And number 5, very interesting, polarizing character. So if you want to check something out, you want to read about or watch a documentary about an interesting guy that will not leave you indifferent, check out Robert Moses. Okay. He was the guy who built a lot of New York City, but also destroyed neighborhoods. So he was ruthless, but also we owe a lot of, it's an interesting, fascinating character. If you like reading about fascinating characters, well, Robert Moses. Moses como Moisés. In English is Moses. And as I said, the 6th one was Flushing Meadows _ Corona Park. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go over here to the chat room and see if anybody got today's triple trouble. There's Laura. So give it up for Elena and Laura in today's Say What soundbite. Excellent job. Almost, Laura. I see a couple things over here. All right. Let's see. Laura says, sorry, I missed Paco's triple trouble. Oh, Open Waters lo tiene apuntado. Qué crack. Yeah. The triple trouble. I'll repeat it because nobody got it yet. Fui a ver al médico y me recetó justo lo que necesitaba, a pesar de que intenté manipular la receta. That is your triple trouble. And in the meantime, we're going to move on to today's Name That Movie. Name That Movie. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you know it, and it is time to go to the movies. But wait, hang on a second. It looks like we might have a winner here. I was buying you some time, but it looks like you didn't need it. Let's see. Chris Valrol, she says, I went to see the doctor, and he prescribed just what the doctor ordered, even though I tried to doctor the prescription. Perfect. I went to see the doctor, No doctor, right? Da. Es más una A, eso. I went to see the doctor, and he prescribed, recetó, just what the doctor ordered. Eso es justo lo que necesitaba, right? Si yo te doy un vaso de agua y estás en el desierto, what you're going to say, your next line is, this is just what the doctor ordered. Como agua de mayo, I think would be another way to say it as well. And she says then, even though I tried to doctor, manipular, alterar, to doctor. Excellent job, Chris. Also, Elena and German as well, getting today's triple trouble. I love it. Wonderful job. To doctor. Otra vez la pronunciación, no doctor, sino doctor. So the doctor tried to doctor the formula, but it wasn't what the doctor ordered. Y la expresión ahí, que estamos viendo totally native expressions, is this is just what the doctor ordered. All right, I think some name that movie is just what the doctor ordered. Here we go. A self-diagnosed nymphomaniac recounts her erotic experiences to the man who saved her after a beating. Wow. So, a self, cada vez que vemos self es auto, right? Autorretrato, self-portrait, self-esteem, autoestima. A self-diagnosed, diagnosticado, you say? A self-diagnosed nymphomaniac. You can say nymphomaniac or nympho, a secas. Recounts, contar, her erotic experiences to the man who saved her after a beating, una paliza. Whoa. Sounds like it's not a kid's movie, and it doesn't quite sound like a comedy either. Holy cow. That is some pretty serious subject matter, if you ask me. De Mario. Holy cow. All right. Well, let me take a look at the scene, and we'll see if anybody can figure it out in the meantime. Seligman says, one of the characters, love is blind, right? El amor es ciego. You say the same thing. Love is blind. And Joe says, no. It's worse. Love distorts things. Distorsiona. To distort. Or even worse. O aún peor. Love is something you never asked for. Que nunca habías pedido. The erotic was something that I asked for or even demanded of men. Exigir, we looked at yesterday. But this idiotic love, I felt humiliated by it and all the dishonesty that follows. And dishonesty means, well, you're not honest. You're dishonest, right? It's the opposite. Vamos a pronunciar eso también. No es honest, it's like doctor. Vamos a decir esta frase. He's an honest doctor. He's an honest doctor. And then Joe says, the erotic is about saying yes. Love appeals to, atrae, lowest instincts, wrapped up in lies, envuelto en mentiras. How do you say yes when you mean no, and vice versa? I'm ashamed of what I became, but it was beyond my control. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, Chris Valrol, you nailed it. It's la película se llama Nymphomaniac Volume 1. There is a Volume 2 as well. In fact, they were shot together, right? Los rodaron juntos, but then when they realized the movie was too long, they split it into 2 parts. By the director Lars von Trier. Lars von Trier, he's done many films that can be deemed as provocative or shocking. So wonderful job. The movie is Nymphomaniac Volume 1. All right, amigos, it's time for your joking.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
That's right. And German's starting us off with a little humor here. And he says, I think we're going to need a spin doctor after today's triple trouble. And if you want to call me baby, just go ahead now. If you, that's the Spin Doctors, right? The group. Well, Spin Doctors also agente de prensa. All right, well, here we go with today's jokes. As always, all you have to do in this section is listen and see if you catch today's jokes. All right. Why do pilots tell bad jokes? Okay, why do pilots tell really bad jokes? Because they always go over your head. You get it? Why do pilots tell bad jokes? Because they always go over your head. Pilots literally go over your head when they're flying planes. But if a joke goes over your head, it means you didn't get it. You didn't understand it. Right? Y hasta usamos el gesto. Con la mano pasamos por encima de la cabeza como, y no solo con chistes. Tú me cuentas algo súper técnico y te digo, it went over my head. Ni papa, no me he enterado de nada. Right? So why do pilots tell bad jokes? Because they always go over your head. Hey, it's another totally native idiomatic expression you should know. It went over my head. No capté nada. All right. What do you call it when you're sick of the airport? What do you call it when you're sick of? Harto, que no es enfermo en este caso. What do you call it when you're sick of the airport? Easy. Terminal illness. Terminal illness. Enfermedades determinadas. Oh, all right. Really bad. And I like it. Elena says, because they always take off. Hey, there's a joke in there too. To take off is to take a day off, but also to take off. He took off, and now he didn't take off. Se cogió el día libre. Nice. Always playing with words. I love it, amigos. All right, I've got one more for you, and we've got to move on. I told my wife I wanted to be a pilot. I told her that. Yeah, I said, honey, I always wanted to be a pilot. And she told me to stop joking around and just wing it. No. I told my wife I wanted to be a pilot. She told me stop joking around, stop kidding around, and just wing it. Wing is ala de un avión, but also wing it, improvisa. All right. I promised you they were going to be bad jokes, and I delivered on my promise. All right, we've got a birthday party to get to.
1, 2, 3. Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Famous birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right, folks. It is Famous Birthdays number 1. This person was born in 1956, a Danish film director. And, he was a child actor as well. And this guy, man, his movies are strange. They deal with psychosexual things. His movies are avant-garde. They're pretty, cutting edge. They're very well filmed, but man, not for the faint of heart. No apto para cardíacos. And I just mentioned him because he was the director of Nymphomaniac, which was today's Name That Movie, among others. Number 2, this person was born in 1943. An American pop singer and songwriter. He was a teen idol, and he also appeared in many, many films. His career started in the midst of, en medio de, a tragedy. The day the music died, which is all these, his peers, sus iguales, died. Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, the Big Bopper. Well, this guy survived. And at 15, he was able to survive a difficult time in music and come out unscathed. And, the rest is history. He was a teen idol, as I said, and you'll know his songs, Peggy Sue, Susie Baby. Well, he did covers of those songs. He also did What Do You Want, Rubber Ball, and many, many more. All right, and last but not least, this guy was born today in 1940, an American actor. He played Rocky Balboa's brother-in-law, Paulie. El cuñado de Rocky, Paulie. He's been in many other movies, Chinatown with Jack Nicholson, Mickey Blue Eyes, Back to School, but I think he will always be remembered as Rocky's brother-in-law, Adrian's brother in Rocky. Paulie was the character's name. And the actor's name, Burt Young. We've got Burt Young, Bobby V, who is our teen idol, and Lars von Trier. And that's going to bring us over to our Say What soundbite. This was Burt Young, the birthday boy, playing Paulie. And he's talking to Rocky. Está hablando con Rocky. And he says, "You kept me around. No me mandaste a tomar viento. You kept me around," right? Would be the expression. And other people would have said, "Drop that bum." Mientras otra gente hubiese decidido, "Deja ese vagabundo, ese holgazán, no te juntes con él. So te seguías conmigo. You kept me around." And other people would have said, "Drop that bum. You give me respect," he said. "You know, it's hard for me to say these kind of things because it ain't my way." It isn't. It ain't my way. No es mi forma de hacer las cosas. But if I could just unzip myself, okay, abrir la cremallera, desabrocharme, if I could just unzip myself and step out and be someone else, I'd want to be you. So here he is, actor Burt Young.
When you kept me around, and other people would have said, "Drop that bum." You give me respect. You know, it's hard for me to say these kind of things because that ain't my way. But if I could just unzip myself and step out and be someone else, I want to be you.
All right, that's for all you, amigos. What a wonderful job you did today on the show. We're going to say goodbye with Bobby V, birthday boy Bobby V, and take good care of my baby. Cuida muy bien de mi cariño. Let's take a look at the lyrics. "My tears are falling because you've taken her away. And though it really hurts me so, me duele tanto, there's something I've got to say. Take good care of my baby." This is Bobby V, and this is a throwback of when music was a little more innocent. Thank you so much, everybody, and sing along with me.
"'Cause you've taken her away. And though it really hurts me so, there's something that I've gotta say. Take good care of my baby. Please don't ever make her blue.